Randomly going live, randomly going live. I'm randomly going live. Let's see what's happening. I was just thinking to myself, hey, I just want to think about something. Why don't I think about something with you guys? So come hang out with me. It's almost midnight here. Let's open some non alcoholic grab juice type of stuff. Let's chat it up. Let's chat it up. Let's chat it up. Da-da-da-da-da. Midnight party. Party in the house. We'll see if somebody stops by. I mean, it's pretty late. I didn't say to anyone I'm going live, but anyways, if somebody's here, let me know and we can have a good time. Because I usually stay up until like 2 a.m. recently. Pretty crazy. So I have 3 hours, but I don't want to stay here for 3 hours. It sounds like a beer, but it's not a beer. It's birel, which is the most non-alcoholic famous drink here. And it says pomelo and grep. So this is grape and pomelo. It's pretty cool. Hey, what's up? Aki Anon is in the house. Aim Naji, assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. How are you doing, guys? What's up with you? Let me know about your life. Let me know what you think about my new image. I'm trying to grow this piece of nothing. No, it's cool. By the way, I should change the title of this stream. I got married, boy. I'm a married man, so I'm celebrating by myself with a non-alcoholic drink, just like you should be. Inshallah. Someone was asking about you on our new Discord. Yeah? Who's that? Tell me who it is. I'm gonna find him. Nah, but I got married, dude, and yes, I'm very happy. It was very stressful. No, I'm not gonna lie about that. And yeah, I just want to talk about the world. But yeah, I was actually in the mosque right now, just praying my Isha with the boys from the hood. Nobody's from the Czech or Slovakia. Everybody's from different countries, but it's so beautiful. I was just sitting there with a guy from the US. He's like this 70-year-old professor with a big beard. Then there was a guy from Yemen, a guy from Algeria, a guy from somewhere else, just people. So it's cool. And now after Ramadan, people are still showing up, but it's much smaller numbers compared to people what they used to do. Congratulations. What's up, Muhammad? Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Let me know what this means. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Everybody says that. I want to know what it means. Let me know the English translation. I just never got a chance to say it. We had a Discord called Halal Nation. Simping to you. What? What's that? Simping to me. Shared a screenshot with Abdullah Samir. Abdullah Samir is the ex-Muslim, right? He was simping to me? I don't know. Let me know what's up. I don't really pay attention to this stuff. But yesterday, oh man, yesterday I was watching. You know this apostate prophet guy. Prophet is that's him, right? No, apostate prophet, something like that. He has a YouTube channel where he kind of goes after Islam, and I just watched some of his videos, but like the oldest ones. It was pretty interesting to see his perspective on how he got to where he is. It's just interesting to look at people from there, and I just think that people, once they are in that mindset, you can never turn them back. It's like, to me, it's not like whatever. If you throw anything at me, I'm not gonna leave Islam right now. Probably. So that's my position. Now, I pray that this will never change. But people, when they get grounded in what they believe, it's very difficult to change them, right? So yeah. So I got married. It's a Christian woman, but I mean, some people were asking if I'm gonna marry a Muslim. I would like to, but I got married to a Christian woman because I was with her when I converted to Islam. So we've been together for over 7 years, and we are we're not pretty much like married, but we did everything together. Um, in terms of like what you're supposed to do with your woman. So it's not like something new technically, but it is an increasing level of commitment, and just wanted to make it halal. And now we are halal, and yeah, we just realized the chef told us like, oh, you guys can't have a wedding in a church. Did you know that? And I was like, really? And she was heartbroken. We had to like um, make a game plan to really figure out like what are we gonna do, because our entire family is Christian, and in our tradition, it's very, if you get married, you go to a church, and it's like the top of your life. The church, especially if you're a woman, a bride, your father hands you over to me. You dream about this moment forever. And now I just said like, oh, it's not gonna happen. So it was a big problem for her. But anyways, we did it, and I have to thank her forever, because she basically adjusted herself to me. She adjusted herself to me. I didn't adjust herself to her. She did it for me. So I'm grateful to her forever. Inshallah. Uh, lol. Yeah, it's like sucking up to someone. Hmm. Halal Nation. What is Halal Nation? Watching from Great Britain, are there many Muslims on both sides of the divide? Why did both countries go their summers ways? You're talking about Czech Republic and Slovakia? I'm not sure, because there are no Muslims in each of our countries. And we split because by 1993, we're actually two different nations. Czechs are different than Slovaks. They use different language, they have different culture and different history. Czech people had their own kingdom in the past. It was called Bohemia. Slovak people never existed. The nation was there, but we never had a state. Something like Kurdistan in Turkey, or something, oh, not in Turkey, but like something like Kurd people, or like Assyrians, people who are nation, but they don't have a country, a state. So yeah, so we were like that. We were part of the Austria-Hungarian Empire, and then we said like, hey, let's do Czechoslovakia, and from there we were Slovakia. So it's a different country, but we're like brother and sister. We're like the closest countries in the world you can find, even more closer than Canada and US. Blessings of Allah upon you. Barakah in every aspect of life. Nice, Samira. Thank you so much. Are there many Muslims, and why did you both countries separate? I think I answered that question. Many Muslims, no. I'm actually the only one from. No, I'm not the only one. I mean, there are thousands, but in terms of local people, Czechs, Slovaks, I think in the recent census, if I'm saying it correctly, maybe 1,000. If I'm not counting immigrants, if I'm not counting people who emigrated here, in Slovakia it's 5,000, or no, like 3,000, but that's including immigrants. So from that you might maybe like 100 people converted to Islam, like really that small. And here it's slightly bigger because we have a mosque here, but it is not something that people do. And it sounds very strange if I say that to people. It really sounds like I'm just like a crazy person, to be honest. But anyways, so yeah, that's the situation. But alhamdulillah, I have my own brain, I have my own thoughts, I have my own belief. I know what Allah did for me this Ramadan. So anyways, you can use any sort of things you want. You can talk to me about anything. I'm very open to changing my position, but I'm diving deeper into different books. Just right here I have a book. It's called Islam Between West and East. It's about the president of Bosnia, Ali Izetbegovic. And this is a great book because it's great for Europeans or for converts to understand East and West and Islam in between, what sort of civilization it was. And I'm really interested in the history of Islam. I'm doing a lot of now podcasts with historians, people who studied Islam in Africa, in Europe, and in Asia. because I want to debunk these things that Islam was spread by the sword, or all this crazy stuff. Some of it is true, but it's mostly correlated to Muslim history, not Islam. Islam was not accepted by the sword. And then Sharia itself, like just today, I learned a giant thing where I researched that the law of Pakistan and the law that I think you can kill somebody who like your wife cheating on you, and you see the man who she cheated with, and you can kill them. I think that law in Pakistan or somewhere, it's based on the British law and French law, and all these kind of like problems with human rights in Muslim world are actually not from Sharia, but mostly from the colonial law given to them by French or British people, because they were under that rule also in India. And if you really study deep international law and study these laws, they have very little to do with Sharia. So yeah, I have ordered a bunch of books on Sharia law, and especially the law with war, how you should behave with slaves and stuff like that. So it's something I'm really interested in, and this is something people don't know and they are very scared of. So I just want to jump into that. Mashallah. May Allah bless you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Let me know about the name Muhammad. Now, I have a question. Everybody's name, not everybody, but a lot of people are named Muhammad, like Muhammad Salafi. You see his spelling is different than Muhammad. Let me know, how is this like a common name for you guys? Is everybody's name Muhammad, or is there another name that is more popular? Because I know Muhammad is the most common name on earth. I'm just curious to know, like, if let's say you have a kid, you automatically give them name Muhammad, or how do you go about this? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. No. Assalamu alaikum. This is nice. This is nice. No way, dude. It's not coming along. It doesn't exist. The mustache exists, but the beard, it's like nothing. But anyways, we'll see what's up. Are both states in there where they're from? They're both Catholic. Man, you have a lot of questions, but I'll tell you, because I like to talk about my history. Because my history is not Muslim, it's Slovak, it's European, but I'm a Muslim by choice. My history is not something I chose. So both states in the EU, yes, Slovakia uses euro, Czech Republic doesn't use euro, and they are very anti-European. Slovakia is pro-Europe, let's say, pro-European Union. Czechs not that much. We were formerly communist countries, yes, but we weren't part of a communist bloc. Communist countries, like you have Ukraine, Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan. These were Soviet republics. We were never a Soviet republic because we were in Europe, but we were Eastern Bloc. Eastern Bloc was a bunch of countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and they were together as a puppet state of Russia, of Soviet. So technically on paper we were like free, but then we were occupied for 40 years. People were thrown to jail. You couldn't do anything. In the school you were forced to write why America is the son of devil, and these sort of crazy stuff. Like people were writing like America is evil, screw America, and this was like what people were taught. So it's pretty messed up. People couldn't express themselves. You would get arrested for anything. No freedom of speech, like absolutely nothing. Your neighbor would be like listening to what you're saying and then call a secret police. They would come and take you out. Even your family members you couldn't trust. If you wanted to go to college or to a school, you would have to enter a political party, communist political party. Otherwise, you would be forever working in like a factory. You would never get anything from the government. So people entered communist party because they would get a free flat, free apartment. You would get a free car, but you would sell your soul, right? But you would just be part of the government, and then they would just organize everything, and they would just have these 5-year plans of creating as many products as possible, but nobody would buy them. So let's say you make like 1,000, no, 1 million TVs, but there was no market need for those TVs, so they would just stand there. People would just steal them. So like this was the state of the nation. Like it's pretty strange. And yeah, I mean, this is like something that was going on here, but what was going on in Russia is even worse. There was like killings and stuff, but here it was like mostly people went to jail, but not many killings. And there was a guy who burned himself in front of the building where I just drove. His name is Jan Palach. Uh, in the protest of this regime, but yeah, communism is pure evil. It's much worse than capitalism. I can tell you, and my entire family can tell you. In capitalism, you at least have a choice, even though, let's say you need to work to earn a wage, but in communism you don't have a choice, and you don't have any freedom. So yeah, it's difficult. But people loved socialism. It was a new sort of idea, but as we know, it's already a bad idea because it's based in this dunya, and you know it can never. They wanted to create Jannah. They wanted to create utopia on earth, that everybody's paycheck is the same. Nobody has to do. Everybody has the same. There's total equality of outcome even. Nobody is above. There's no boss. Nothing. Pretty like the idea is pretty compelling, but the practicality of that idea resulted in hundreds of millions of people dying, like in China and Russia, because it didn't work. So yeah, that's the history. So that's why we're pissed at the Russians, because they for 40 years they locked the country and just destroyed it, and they built like these flats, these buildings here that we can't get rid of, and they make the country ugly. The country is beautiful, and we have beautiful architecture, medieval architecture, but then there's these ugly Soviet buildings spread around the country, and you can never get rid of them. So that's our history. That's why everybody hates communism here. You won't find anyone who likes it. Here in Czech or in Poland, we hate it because we suffered a lot. We're both Catholic. No, Slovakia is Catholic, 60%. Czech is not. I mean, technically it's Catholic, but they are like 90% atheist. But Catholic on paper. I mean, nobody is practicing Catholicism. It's just Catholic so that you can get a church wedding. That's the Catholic, but you don't go to church. Like you don't practice what you believe in. You don't follow Jesus. Let's say peace be upon him. Halal Nation is a meme discourser. We make memes about hypocrites against the Haq. So you made a meme about me, or about Abdullah, or what? Dang. Send me the link then. I'll check it out. Abdullah's a good guy. I mean, he's ex-Muslim and stuff, but he's just a person. I think there's a bigger fight to be had than fighting ex-Muslims, atheists, and all these people. The fight is ideological. The fight is about: do you believe this is the world, or do you believe there's something after you die? And that translates into society and politics and ideology, which translates into Sharia and the entire set of values that you have. And yeah, it's just a very difficult thing. You are 100 of Slav Muslims. Yes, that's me. Very interesting. Yeah, and the guy who was getting married, who was marrying my wife, he was like, in Islam, you have this guy who has to protect your wife. When you're marrying a woman, he is like her protector, and as a man, you ask him for her hand. He says, "Yes, I'm giving her to you. Do you accept?" And I say, "Yes, I accept." And then he's like, "Okay, you are done. This is the wedding. This is nikah." And we're like happy, and Allah and everybody is like, "This is in front of Allah. We did it." And he asked me for shahada before. He was like, "You're a Muslim, Say la ilaha illallah. So he was taping it on video. He said like many people get married just because their partner is Muslim. So like let's say there's a Muslim woman and she finds a guy here in Prague and he converts to Islam just because he needs to, I don't know, appeal to her parents. So he does the shahada, and I was a witness of one shahada where Indonesian girl and a Czech guy, he did it. He converted to Islam. I was one of the witnesses, and then he never showed up to mosque. He never did anything. It was before Ramadan, and I gave him my number, and I said like, hey dude, call me up or just let me know if you want advice because I know you've been looking into Islam, but you might need advice from converts as well, not just like people who've been there. And he never did anything. So I think those people who just convert because of they want to marry someone, he wanted to avoid that. So he recorded on video me saying Shahada, so that he knows like this is a guy for real. I have no problem doing that because I say Shahada in front of you here all the time on live streams. Like if somebody wants to attack me for believing in Islam, they have plenty of materials. I've said so many bad stuff online. Not bad stuff, but like so many stuff that I'm clearly biased and I believe in Islam. So what else can you tell me? Like yes, I'm not very politically correct, I guess, but it's not because I want to. It's just this is it. And yeah, the wedding was great. Took 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just happy. And the next step in my career is to really study. Have you played Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl? No, I haven't. I really don't really play a lot of video games. I do play FIFA a lot, but just this week I'm always telling my wife like I want to play FIFA. Like before I go to sleep, I want to play FIFA, and I never have time to play FIFA. I always have like a client call or something coming up because But today I want to play FIFA. But I can look across the kitchen and I can see dishes. So I have to do them because she's not gonna do them. I have to help out in the home as well, man. That's the sunnah. You should help out. Mohammed is the most common name in the UK. Dang, really? That's nice. Parents name their children Muhammad because of the love and respect towards the Prophet, giving the most beloved name to their. Isn't it crazy that people like I watch this Christian debates with Sheikh Uthman, I think, and I don't want to get into like debating or saying anything, but like if people want to disprove that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, even existed, how? What? Just like I don't understand this. How can you even claim such a thing? Anyways, um, let me see more comments. Yes, Muhammad. Salam alaikum. Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam. Zadullah for the Prophet. Is there a lot of names like Musa or Isa or other prophets, or let's say Adam? Who's Ibrahim? Peace be upon them all. Who else? Dawood. Or is it just Muhammad usually? Sounds like universal basic income. Yeah, communism. Yeah, it not really. Universal basic income is an answer to uh, crazy capitalism, because people on the top don't care about people, and capitalism is not the best system. It has many flaws because it distributes wealth disproportionately, so that people on the top and people on the bottom are widening up the distance between them, and they can never catch up to each other. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what's going on. So we need maybe something like this, universal basic income. But for me, it's difficult because I'm both an entrepreneur and I strongly believe that you are responsible for your own money. And I really hate incompetent people, people who are lazy, people who can't get things done. Um, yeah, because I used to be on the other side of the fence. I used to be a worker in the factory. I used to work a lot of jobs in the U.S. where I used to wait a lot of tables. I used to spend 3 months in Minnesota I witnessed a murder almost there. I then went to Alaska, where I was 4 months in Alaska, doing at the golf course. I was doing a waiter. I was a waiter. Um, then I had a job in Utah, in the U.S., with Mormons, and I was in the amusement park where I met actually a lot of Turkish guys. Uh, who I remember. And then yeah, the amusement park, that was great. That was my first like big experience going outside and flying abroad, and just the experience of living in the U.S. It was really amazing. I will never forget it. I was like 21, I think. Yeah, it was complete jahiliya, but it was also beautiful in some way. This sense of freedom, just going to the U.S. I always dreamed about the U.S. when I was small boy, that I'm gonna be a cowboy or go to the desert and stuff. So when I was reading these stories, I got to like travel in 30 states, and it was really cool. I really loved the nature there. I didn't like the many cities. I didn't like LA. I hated LA. It's just full of homeless people. Las Vegas was cool, but it's just I was like, this was like many years back, 10 years ago almost. So yeah, casinos and all this stuff, it's not good. Definitely haram. I was never addicted to gambling, but my father was, and he lost a lot of money. My father had to sell everything, left my family, left me. So yeah, it was pretty difficult. But so yeah, I never got into gambling, but I was like really dabbling into it because my mom works in a gambling company. So I always had this relationship with it, but it's everywhere here. I mean, gambling is everywhere. You go out, you have a lot of these gambling companies here, and they make a lot of money because people are desperate, or people who are giving you money on like a usury. This is, I think, 1 in 3 Slovak people has some. Not, it's called execution. I don't know what's it called in English, but when you owe money to somebody, and you can't pay it back, so the government sends you a letter of like execution. So they are taking your property, um, eviction, whatever you want to call it. 1 in 3, like people are living on debt. How stupid is that? I never had that in my life. I hate it. Yeah, I'm just buying some land in Slovakia this summer. I'm gonna buy land in the middle of Slovakia, and yeah, I want to buy like in 3 or 4 years. I want to buy a nice house, like build a nice house in that land, and just like chill out there and build a and register Islam as officially in Slovakia. But we need 50,000 signatures. Damn it, that's a lot of them. Anyways, no worries, no worries. But yeah, I'm gonna go to Sarajevo and then Istanbul finally. So I'm happy. What am I talking about? All right, let me know what you guys think about Israel Palestine. There's a protest tomorrow in Prague, 2 p.m. after Juma. So I already texted a few guys that I know, and we are going there. So I'm gonna interview. I'm gonna interview um, Jewish people. I'm gonna interview people who are for Israel. Let me know in the comments what should I ask them, because there were Jewish people supporting Palestine in the previous protest, and so I want to ask them, and I want to ask the people who support Israel, and then I want to ask the Palestinians. So let me know what question should I ask the people, the Jewish people. But like, make a question nice. It has to be real, like thoughtful question, not just like something provocative. It's very popular. Yeah, Yugoslavia was very similar. Very similar. We used to go there for summer. Mohammed, salam, salam, salam. Man, there's a lot of comments. How many people watch this? I mean, you guys don't sleep or what? It's crazy. It's almost midnight. Uh, Malay and racism, Islam, pride to be Malay. All right. What is the state of the world? I think that's the name of this live stream, and I haven't really. really tackle the main issue. What is the state of the world? So yeah, this correlates to Israel and Palestine, right? State of the world. What is it, guys? Do you think it can ever be peaceful? Do you think it can ever be cool? I don't believe this. In Dunya, this is a dream. You can only improve it. You can make it better, but it will never be Jannah. Whether in your personal life or in the public life as a country, you can never make this world work. But what is the state of the world? People tend to claim that people live today 1,000 times better than than they lived in the past. That may be true if you look at like how much money everybody has or the level of social security, healthcare. Maybe not in the U.S., but everywhere else. But then you look at the okay, how fulfilled are people in their lives? Is there more depression? Is there more suicide? Do people feel like their life has meaning and purpose? Or do they feel like part of the machine? And that's the real problem because we don't measure those things as, you know, things that should be important. And if even if they do these indexes of like the most happiest country in the world, and it's usually somebody in Denmark or in Finland or Scandinavia, it's just because that those countries has the highest capita per capita, highest what's that income per capita. So those people make a lot of money, and they have a great welfare state. There's very little crime, and everything works. Everything is beautiful. I was in Finland. It's really beautiful, but the people commit suicide or they have these problems. They drink a lot, and so if we look at okay, what is the spiritual level? Because you have this physical fulfillment. What is the spiritual fulfillment of Scandinavian people, of Vikings? And then compare it to people living in Afghanistan or Pakistan or somewhere where you practice Islam, Indonesia, Saudi, I don't know. Somewhere where like people practice Islam, they pray 5 times a day. Uh, Maybe their healthcare is worse. Maybe their, I don't know, the income is not that great, and you can find the streets are sometimes ugly or maybe they are like dirty, but people are maybe happier. So isn't that crazy? So then what's going on here? What's this dunya about? So what is the state of the world? Do you speak Russian? Как дела? У меня отлично, как обычно. Я зовут Ян. У меня... No, I don't. I just know a couple of sentences. I took classes of Russian and I know the alphabet, but I don't really speak it that well. Just 1 or 2 years. Oh, yeah. What's your experience after doing marriage the Islamic way? I don't know because I was already doing everything you're supposed to do in marriage already. So the Islamic way, I never did it. I just did the nikah, the Islamic wedding, but I was doing, before that 7 years. So I don't know. We never had a first night or something like that because we've been together for 7 years. So, or we never did these things that couples look forward to, or they don't touch each other, or they don't live in haram because I come from haram. So we were doing it, but I made it halal now. So I don't know. I just wanted to make the Islamic wedding, but I guess people go through different process. When you get to know somebody, you decide to get married, but you still don't sleep with each other, or you don't even go out, you don't kiss, and you have to go to her father, and then you agree on the maghrib, what's it called, mahr, the gift, which we did. We did all those things, but it was just like on paper because they knew like this guy is a revert, like this is not he already knows. But yeah, it's different for people like that. So I would like to know what's your experience. If somebody has this, that would be great. How's your relationship with local Muslims? Yeah, I love them. um, I like those guys. I like to just observe them and see like how different they are from me, because I'm like very like, I don't know, it's just different culture, different temperament. They tend to be like expressive, and stuff. Um, or like they when they talk to you, they get into your face, and I'm like, oh. So it's a different dynamic and vibe, but alhamdulillah, it's all good. Their hearts are great, and they're great people, and a lot of them are actually very successful. So yeah, my relationship with local Muslims is better. It's great. I don't have any beef. Oh yeah, that's good. How did she do it? I mean, she knew firsthand what was going on. Last year, when I was getting into Islam, I was telling her every night, there's dunya, there's Jannah, there's Jahannah, there's this, there's this. And she was like, what? And I told her, there's 50,000 years on the day of judgment. And she was like, what? And she was asking me a lot of questions. We were like going back and forth. And then I was reading the Quran. No, I wasn't. I wasn't reading the Quran then. I was, doing a lot of videos. I was watching a lot of videos. It was just interesting for me. I wasn't Muslim then, but I was interested, and it took me. And then I left, and I was back in it, and it was just a complicated relationship. And then finally, at the end of the year, I told like I'm doing this. I didn't convert yet, but I said like, yeah, I'm really serious about Islam. Like I'm gonna practice now 5 times a day, and I did that. And then she one night she came to me and said like, wait a second, do you really want to be a Muslim? Like, and I said like, well, at some point I'm probably gonna do the Shahada because I'm already like praying, and I stopped my drinking, smoking, and all those things, and it was like a month after that. Um, and she was like, well, that will have a giant effect. Like, first of all, we're not married, so you live in a haram relationship. You still eat, like I was still eating bad meat, then I wasn't eating halal. Um, she said like, well, our children, they won't be baptized. How do I explain that? And we had these debates, like, you pray 5 times a day, like this will affect my life. You don't listen to music, you do this. Like every time we watch TV, you will have problems with what we watch. And I was like, you know what? None of this is true. I pray 5 times a day. You will get used to it. Like I'm just doing it right now. It's pretty cool. And the TV shows we watch, it's fine. I'm not saying anything. Music, like all these things are nonsense, trivial things, and it's just something you get used to. And then once I become a Muslim, we will get married probably. I told her like, get ready to get married in the beginning of this year, like, uh, because once I become a Muslim, I can't live in this relationship. And so she was probably expecting that. So yeah, that was why my wife. That was he. She responds. She responded very well. She's very happy because I'm much calmer. I'm more in peace with me. And mashallah. Yeah, yeah. It was cool. It was cool. How old are you? 29. FIFA is rigged. Yeah. Abdul. Yes, helping wife in household chores is sunnah. Sunnah. Yeah, that's it. That's it, boy. Never like on that household stuff because you will get whipped. Joseph, in Czech, do you still use krona? Yeah, we have Czech crowns. It's the worst currency ever. Admitting your bias is being honest. Yeah, I mean, look, I try to be unbiased, right? Debating truth. I try to be unbiased, but I have my opinion, and this is not a TV network where I am unbiased. I'm just telling you what I think, and based on the evidence. So I am biased. I am biased, but everybody is, and there is no unbiased actually opinion. Even if you look at like the most unbiased news about, let's say, Israel and Palestine, they either go slightly to Israel or slightly to Palestine. It's not unbiased because there is the truth. So the truth is either on this side or on this side. It's not in the middle. People say the truth is in the middle. But let's say in the conflict of Israel and Palestine, the truth is not in the middle. The truth is closer to one of the sides. We can all agree on that, right? At least in this room. So that's the thing. Like sometimes there is a correct answer and there is a bad answer. So I'm just going to find the correct one. And what I realized, almost all the answers that are correct are in alignment with Islam. And they might be contradictions in the beginning, like don't drink, don't have multiple sexual partners. This might be very controversial, but then you look at the effects of those things, and it makes sense. What's your education? I have a master's degree in international relations and political sciences. Thank you. That's my education. And then obviously some other things. Experience with Mormons. I love those guys. They are very good people. Very rich people, by the way. I never asked them too much about their belief system, but they helped me a lot. Like when I was flying to the US in Washington, D.C., we had a tornado. Tornado hit the airport. We were landing, the plane was landing, and we went to the tornado. And we went into the eye of the tornado where everything went pitch black and I couldn't see anything. And we were like few meters above the ground, just about to land. I was like, I'm dying. Behind me, there were Muslim women in covered up in burqa, I think, and they started to pray Allah. And I was like, wow, what's going on? There was a German guy next to me, and we were just like scared. And then we landed last plane, and the Mormons were there with me, and they get the airlines, they gave us hotel to sleep at because tornado locked the airport for one more day. So the connecting flight was scheduled in the next day. So we went to sleep to the airport, and this was my first time in the US, first time in the first country, first time ever on the plane. Very scary stuff, right? I'm a I don't know nothing, right? And I'm a young guy. And these Mormons, these old men and old women, they came from China from a mission. And they were like, come on. And then we were talking about politics. We were like talking for hours and hours. He gave me his email. We exchanged messages. And then they took me to the hotel. Then I slept in that hotel room, which was for free, I think. And then the next morning we flew back to Utah together. And his daughter picked me up from the airport and drove me to like location. So Mormons are very good people. What they believe in, I mean, it's not really something you can get into. But if you are brought up in that environment, um, then yeah, you probably believe it. But how can you believe Jesus lived in Mississippi? I don't know, man. I don't see many people converting to Mormonism. Let me see what's happening here because there's a lot of comments. You are a true believer, inshallah. Well, I don't know, maybe, hopefully. Barakatuh, barakatuh means a lot. Can I ask you something? After finishing the book, Islam Between West and East, it would be good if you did a review video. Yeah, I can do reviews. Like I did Al Ghazali. That was a great one. May Allah guide her also. I think, yeah, I'm praying for that, you know. But Allah guides whoever He wills, and everybody has a different timeline. You know, you have to be open. When you come to Sarajevo, we can meet, inshallah. Inshallah, let me know. I will be there in summer, probably. It's 7 hours from my town, so I said to my wife, like, we will go to Sarajevo. I will find some mosques and just hit them up and pray up, pray up, pray up. 11:45 in Egypt. What's going on? That's the same time, Khalid. Oh man, I want to go to Egypt so much. Any tips on overcoming fear of death or failure? Hmm. There are two things you're asking: overcoming fear of death or failure. Failure, I don't know. What do you mean? Like failure of like career? Fear of death is not easy. It's the worst thing to overcome. But if you are a Muslim, well, you then have a advantage, right? Because when I was a non-Muslim, I used to be so scared of death all the time. But now I'm so cool. Like if you are scared of death, you know what that means? You have a problem with your hereafter. You have a problem with really being grounded in the belief that there is something after you die. So that's something you should be working on. You should really not convince yourself, but you should really have a 100% conviction without any shadow of a doubt. Not talking about Islam, but Islam is truly the way where you know that something is going to happen after you die. Now, this can happen through education, through reading Quran, through different things. For me, it happened like a combination of things, but also experiences, supernatural experiences that I had in Ramadan. Um, and I'm no longer not afraid, but I live every day as I'm not supposed to live the next day. This is this I would put it. So when I go to sleep, I don't expect to wake up. As the hadith goes, when you go to sleep, don't expect to wake up next morning. When you wake up, don't expect to live another day. Just go one by one. And you'll be cool, man. Just think about death all the time. Don't fear it, because it's not the end. It's not the end. If you're a Muslim, you can. It's easy. You have a problem if you're an atheist. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end. You can just you can just feel that. I mean, this is the question, right? People debate it forever. So this is a personal question. But for me, it doesn't make sense that death is the end. I think death is more exciting than life because it's gonna be the feelings, the next level. Death is part of life. Like without death, there is no life. So you must have death. Um, you without death, you wouldn't appreciate life. So then death is important. The fear of death is important, and the fear of Allah is important, so that you know that you will be held accountable after you die. Um, and yeah, and people who get caught up in the dunya and enjoying whatever they do here, and that's good. But you will die first of all, and if you're a believer, you know you'll be held accountable. Isn't it better to live your life with those two things that make it that makes it much more easier to be content with the thought of dying and not being like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna die, you're gonna die. It's all good, man. Just live your life and hope that Allah will have mercy on your soul. It's all you can do. This is true, but everybody has a definition. So, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm 1,000% sure that whatever Netanyahu is doing in Israel, he thinks he's doing it for good because he believes he's fighting evil. So everybody has different things what they think is good and evil. I thought evil is Islam a few years back. Now I don't. So very difficult, but good premise. Peace be upon him. Quran told us human would make bloodshed and be wrongdoing when Allah asked them to kneel to Adam. Yes, the angels asked him like, "Will you send that human being to the place where they will shed much blood?" Like, what? We are here worshiping you all the time, but why did you create this creature? That's the state of the world. I don't think it's ever going to change. This is the nature of human, right? The world is a prison for the believer. Nice. I like that. Yeah. Dude, I tried meditations since 12. My mother put me in Buddhist kind of yoga places. We were doing crazy spiritual exercises. Um, many things we tried, and nothing made me calm, peaceful. I took drugs. I did many things, but yeah, it's just submission. Islam is what it is. It's where it's at. What's your opinion about the war in Yugoslavia? As the Bosnians were regaining ground, the other sides call a truce. We're aware of what happened in Srebrenica. Yeah, I'm aware. I I watched a lot of documentaries about that. It's truly horrible. Yeah, Serbians. Yeah, it's terrible, terrible. Uh, I don't have any opinion because the war. There were a couple of wars. The embargo. The thing is, my opinion doesn't really matter. So I don't really want to go into that because even the conflict was not mine. Like I can give you opinion about Czech and Slovak politics or communism, but since I wasn't living in Srebrenica or I wasn't a Serbian or Bosnian, I don't want to give you my opinion because it wouldn't give it justice. Yes, I know. They don't know. So you guys know. Yeah, it doesn't exist. That's how hard it is. So I don't know. You know what my Islamic banking is? I'm gonna buy a house in the cash. So that's why I'm stacking up my money right now so that I don't have to take out mortgage. I'm blessed because I have a company and I make a decent, more than decent amount of money. So I've been stacking it up, boy, and in the near future I can buy a house with cash, hopefully, inshallah. Um, so yeah, I will never take out any loan or anything like that until if something doesn't happen. Inshallah. Ooh, when Isa saw, yes, Jesus will descend. I agree with you. I think I responded to this. Yeah, the marriage now is spiritually halal. It's way different because even when I was already a Muslim, but we were together with my now wife and we were doing something together, I felt bad, like, I shouldn't be doing this. But what do I say? Like, hey, don't touch me. Like, what? It's not like something we didn't do before. Um, so I felt bad and I was doing a lot of tauba afterwards. I was doing a major tauba before I got married. I was doing like a lot of tauba so that Allah forgive me for all the zinners or whatever I did in the past. But yeah, it's way different now. I know we're good. We're good in front of Allah. That's all that matters. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that now. It's very good. Um, and now I don't look at other people. I don't do anything. I don't concern myself with other women. It's do whatever you want. I'm already set. Mm. Hey Abdullah, I think I answered this. Yeah, she was cool. What's your take on so-called rise of the right wing in Europe? Mm, I mean, there is a rise, but there's also a rise of left wing. So it's both. Liberalism is rising on one hand with their global leftist kind of crazy agenda. The right wing is rising as well. There's no middle ground. So yeah, my take on it, man, this is any societal issue is so complicated to explain, and every country is so different. I think most of the right wing is connected to the refugee crisis from Syria. We had millions of people coming through Hungary and Slovakia, so we had posters of "Hey, Islam in Europe, stop Islam in." This was happening. Islam in Europe. We don't even know what Islam is. If you ask any Slovak or Czech, like, what is Islam? They don't know. If you said, like, is it submission to God? I don't know. So yeah, That's the right wing. It's the relationship because of the refugees, and we were scared by that like many times. And then the other thing, left wing, LGEETBBC, the letters, guys, which letters? Those guys are coming up because of, yeah, because we're not in reality anymore. We're somewhere not in reality. How do you see usury with the experience? Yeah, it's the most horrible thing, an effect of alcohol. Effect of alcohol, as as it says in the Quran, there's some good in it, but the bad outweighs the good. Therefore, it's better for you to not do it because man can't control his desires. It's true. Like when I was younger, maybe one beer would be fine, but when I was like really in my prime alcoholic years, I would drink like 10 beers, and you know how horrible that feels. Man, you're the day and a half or 2 days after that, you can't get up from bed usually, and you can't eat, you're vomiting, you can't focus, you can't read, you can't sleep, you can't do nothing. Your head hurts like nothing you ever experienced. Um, and you've been drunk, you don't remember what you did. You harassed people, you harassed women, you got slapped, you probably got in some fight, you have your jacket teared up, you got home at 5 a.m., you're all like bloody, you don't know, you don't recall what happened, you just know you were embarrassed, and somebody recorded you on the phone, and now it's on Facebook, and everybody's laughing at you, and then they think that this guy is you, but you know that this is not you, this is you drunk, but the real you is hidden. So alcohol is the worst thing. And was, I would say I was an alcoholic at some point, of course. I was drinking every day almost. But it's the worst because it's socially acceptable. I'm not saying that if you drink a beer, like you'll die. No. But just stay out of it. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. It leads to mayhem, and many people get loosened up by alcohol, and they tell you things they then regret, or they do things, they cheat. You know how many times I cheated in my life with alcohol when I had alcohol, like before I had different women. It was horrible things, I'm telling you. You can't control yourself. Or in how many fights we stole. I mean, I don't want to talk about this is haram, but you do things you would never do, so don't do it. Your favorite Muslim scholar? Oh, my favorite, Mohammed Hoblos. Mohammed Hoblos is the main reason why I was even interested in Islam. So if I ever get to meet him, I'm gonna give him a kiss. Yes, of course. I know. I know she's happy. She was already waiting for years. Because I was scared to get married. I was like, this is stupid. It's an institution of marriage. But then I was like, no, man, this is the decree. This is 50% of my deen, boy. You are good, yeah, you are. What? Let me see other comments. Islam is in yeah, another misconception is there's a lot of women rights in Islam. But then you have this wife beating verse, right, that people take out. So yeah, you have to be careful with that. You really have to study a lot of things in Islam. Like as a revert, it's pretty crazy how much things you have to study. Playing FIFA right now while listening to Jan. AK, dude, that's crazy. What FIFA are you playing? Tell me. Truth is on the side of the oppressed. Yes. Every ideology wants to basically expand. So, democracy, freedom, West wants to expand their ideas because they believe these are superior ideas and they want to free people in different countries. Islam also believes it's superior and it wants to free people from different countries. Then you have other ideas like China communism, who believes it's superior and he wants to free people from the countries as well. So it's everybody has their own set of values. But then we look at like, okay, if there is a creator and he sent down set of values to guide society and a judiciary system like Sharia, is that the best? Yes, because it comes from the best. It comes from somebody who doesn't make mistake. Should this be top? Yes, but uh, we can't go there and say like, hey, this is the best system. But we know we know that Islam is the best system. It's just misused by Muslims, misused by Muslim countries. Many Muslim countries apply Sharia weirdly. It's a mess. It's a mess. But there is a divine thing there. Like, if God tells you something, isn't that the most important thing? Of course. So yeah, this will forever be going on because there will forever be more disbelievers than believers. This will be forever like this. So yeah. So then that's why people want to explain. I think Islam is needed. I don't know. I still haven't found the answer to that because there is a conflict. Islam looks inward. It's more interested in spiritual happiness, and West modernism look outwards and in expressing yourself and consuming. So those are conflicting ideas, and I think there's a place for Islam in Europe and America, but it's never gonna be under Sharia, and it shouldn't be. I think these countries in Europe and America will always be secular. I mean, I'm almost 1,000% sure of this. But even in the UK and France, you can see giant Muslim communities, and if they can set up their own mosques and if they can practice Islam, they can obey the law of the land. That's fine. I don't need more. Just don't oppress us. Let us wear hijab. Let us do Ramadan, and that's it. You know. So I think that's the case, and I think it's gonna grow, but I think it's gonna decline in your countries, in local countries where Islam is present. Why the heck did you do a master's degree in international relations? I don't know. I didn't know what to study. Didn't want to study math. What does your name mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just minyan. Mormons are nice and their beliefs are wacky. It's Missouri, not Mississippi. Yeah, Missouri. Jesus was in Missouri. Still pretty crazy. But people say like every belief system is crazy. At some point, yes, you get to supernatural things which are very difficult to explain, but Mormons' core theology is based on made up stuff. Mostar. Yeah, I know Mostar. That's pretty cool. Every soul will taste death. Every soul shall taste the death, so prepare for the day when you will stand in front of him. Oh yeah, it's not because of the small numbers, it's because you'll be many, but be like foam, like the foam on the river, and Allah will remove the fear of you from the hearts of your enemies. Yeah, and you have to really be careful because this sounds like super sometimes extreme, but it's just common sense. You know. You know what I hate? It's not about Islam. I really hate these crazy terrorist groups, Al Qaeda, ISIS, and all these people. I understand why they were created. Like, I understand that because of the invasions and the policies in the Middle East, these groups kind of were created because of the, political vacuum in those countries and complete destruction that happened after the war. So this is an obvious response. But I hate how they mislead or misuse Islam, misuse Quranic verses, and they really do bad damage to the entire ummah. I think those guys, what the damage that they have done is almost like horrible. So yeah, I'm very very. I was just thinking about that, like how crazy they damaged the perfect Dean, the Dean of Allah. Like those guys, yeah, I don't know. What's your line of business? I'm in marketing. I have a marketing agency, and then I implement software. It's called Salesforce. It's a CRM. Muslim. Ugh. Midnight. Muslim straight lost track of the straight path and fell in love with the dunya. Yes. You see, for me, I came from dunya, so I know there's nothing there. It can never satisfy you. But I understand if you're brought up as a Muslim and you can't participate in it, you feel this like, oh, I want to go there. I had friends who drink alcohol. When I told them how it's haram, yeah, dude. But the thing is, like, if you go around talking to people, this is haram, you're haram police. You will never have friends. You can't say that like people know they are doing bad things. They will not change just because you said it's haram. You have to say why, and you have to be gentle, and it's all about communication. So people don't change from a day. Like you can tell me it's haram to not haram, but it's unhealthy to do something, and I'm still gonna do it. So yeah, I don't think that kind of works. I have no idea, man. Maybe. How do you perceive the lack of unity among Muslim states? Yeah, I think. I mean, there's Arab League, right? There's Gulf League of States or something like that. But yeah, for since we have one ummah, we're very divided. I don't know why. It's such a pity because West is united, under one pillar, let's say, of EU and US. But here we don't have anything. Like, I mean, I'm for European Union at some level because I want to use euro, and I think borders are useless in Europe, and it makes things easier in business. But with regards to the foreign policy, I don't really approve of it. But Muslims are missing some sort of vision. Like, what is our vision for a global superpower? Like, should we? Because like you have a global superpower, you have a US, you have Russia, you have China, you have then, let's say, Latin American countries or Brazil mostly, um, and then you have like European Union, but then you have like nothing, and that nothing is like the biggest threat to all of these is Islam because it's the best, but it's not united. So imagine if all these countries just started trading among each other, creating trade deals, lowering the tariffs, lowering the taxes, doing business, doing it halal, creating banks, Saudi supporting everybody because they are unlimited budget, and all these things. Not just be depending on oil, but depend on this, on IT, on your creativity, so that you don't have to move to the West. The wages would rise, so you can invest in military, and then you can defend yourself if there's any invasion or anything like that. Or you can create pacts among each other, like Turkey plus this. If they attack us, we'll send this many troops and wherever, right? And so, like, yeah, like for the Islam as a whole, it's such a great system, but the Ummah is so divided. I don't know why. I don't know if I can help. What's your opinion of life in Brno? Brno, second largest city. It's a cool city. It's pretty small. There's one mosque, I think, but it's just a small thing. 90% Muslim. Yeah, I know Kosovo. We actually don't recognize Kosovo as a country in Slovakia. Isn't that crazy? Because we're scared. Differences many. I talked to them in the beginning. It's the language. We have different culture, different history, completely different history. Yeah, Sharia to myself is, of course. I'm mostly, if I'm talking about Sharia, I'm talking about government and politics and judiciary. Do you have a website? Yeah, I have many websites, but I'm not gonna say it now. I have to wake up in 6 hours, so I gotta sleep. See you guys. You will witness the unity of Ummah in Hajj. Yeah, that's what I want to do, man. That's my dream. Guys, I see we're dropping. It's been 1 hour. This is insane. What? Well, thank you so much for spending this with me, this midnight stream. And I'll catch you on Saturday, and tomorrow I'm protesting, so I'm gonna do some interviews. And let's ask these people, why are they bombing Palestine? So thank you so much. It's been great. I will probably hang out with you in the midnight more because I have time before I go to sleep. So thank you. It was awesome. And I will see you in on Saturday probably. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam.